6:37 at WIBX. Good morning. It's waking up to a full moon, almost a full moon anyway, and some real incredible moonlight as you're driving in this morning. Oh, that'll be going away here as time goes on. We have partly cloudy skies, some sun and clouds expected on the way today. But big news from last night. Quick update from Christine that there were two different explosions now being called a suicide bomber, at least in one case in Brussels, Belgium, overnight, and at least 13 people are dead. Brussels, this is their 9/11.
Right. Brussels has been on high alert for the past 4 days. They did make an arrest in the terrorist attacks that occurred in Paris. They did make an arrest in Brussels of someone. There were warnings that there would be an attack. This morning, those attacks took place.
Warnings for the last several days they've been talking about, at least the last few days. Anyway,
right, 4 days at least. And we're getting conflicting information. Between 13 and 23 people have been killed in the explosions. Hundreds have been wounded in the explosions. The first, we believe it was the first occurred, it was at least the first reported, occurred in the airport in Brussels. The second occurred in the metro station, which is their train station. So all transportation services have been shut down this morning. And the scene is being described by media outlets who are there as complete chaos this morning. So that's why there are conflicting reports.
I call it their 9/11, and really, I guess we could do that, but that's really not. I mean, if you think about what we lost on that date, this is more of their Paris,
right.
And it's the new norm, and it's tied to Syria, and it's although no confirmation as of yet, but you would assume that it's tied to ISIS. So that's the scene over there today, and it's really bad. Although I heard one report this morning, they talked about what is it like to be in Brussels right now. Well, obviously in those two locations, it's chaos. But one witness said that life has just moved on and business is going on as it normally does, which is almost a good sign.
So if you remember when Brussels was on high alert the last time, their
streets were empty.
Streets were empty for a few hours, but then there was criticism because tourists and other people were actually like posing for selfies in front of the tanks. And, we have some of that information up on our website from what happened last year. But, you and I were talking before we went on the air this morning of how this is really just the way we live now. And you're on high alert, you're nervous, you live on edge. Knowing,
well, ask the Israelis what it's like.
Right,
I mean,
they live with this every day.
How they live. And and if you live any other way, then you give in to these people. I feel wrong actually describing them as people because I'm not sure they should be described that way. A few stories that are here locally that I think are worth talking about today. In Syracuse, parents of students at All Saints Elementary School were told late Monday that their students may have been this is brutal. Have you seen this story? Mm-mm. They may have been victims of criminal activity allegedly committed by an employee who is recently charged in a child pornography case.
Oh, my gosh.
The letter, which was obtained by Syracuse.com, said the FBI told staff on Monday morning that there may be additional victims of Miss Emily Oberst's criminal activity, including students at All Saints. That's directly from Syracuse.com, and that some parents may be contacted by the FBI. Oberst was also fired effective immediately. She was charged over the weekend for allegedly allowing a 40-year-old man to sexually exploit a 16-month-old child. It was later learned that she worked at the elementary school and began volunteering there at the age of 15. Her mother is also a teacher at the school, according to the school's website.
Oh, my goodness.
So that is something that's unfolding right now in the Syracuse area. And if you want to go the other direction, out in Guilderland, arrest, and this is also, that this restaurant's they're going to get sued and they're going to get killed on this. But I do wonder see if you think the same thing after I give you the story. It's a restaurant there, and it's a Japanese steakhouse. So it's a sushi steakhouse. So imagine it's authentic. So I would say there's a bit of a language and cultural barrier, right? A little bit. So, and I think it plays a role in this. You're smiling. You don't.
No, I'm curious. I guess my mind is running. The steak is not steak. It's not from a cow.
No. It's really quite. the opposite. A woman is blind, and she tried to enter the restaurant using her guide dog, her seeing eye dog.
Okay.
And the manager would not let her in. No, we don't let dogs in. And it was broken English, the way the quote seemed broken English. So they complained again, and finally they tried to set them up in a separate area away from other customers. Well, they pushed it because what's the law here? The law
service
is
dog can go.
Period.
Yeah.
And it can go anywhere and you can't isolate them. They have to be allowed to go anywhere that another patron would be able to go. And the manager said, "No dogs, no dogs." So many times, and he seated other people while basically ignoring us, said the woman Mary Beth Metzger, who is blind. The two women tried to explain to the manager, Lu Cheng, that federal law requires restaurants to allow service animals into their business and demands that customers with service animals be treated the same as other customers. Cheng reportedly continued to deny them service, saying that the dog would scare other customers. So I'm only throwing this cultural thing out there.
Yeah.
Now, listen, if you own and operate a restaurant, you should know the rules, you should know the regulations, you should know the laws. However, do you give these people a bit of a pass, or do you hammer them and you go after them full bore?
So how are they going after them?
Well, I'm just assuming what's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say, ignorance of the law is not a defense, but it sounds like this guy doesn't know, and he doesn't know the difference between the service dog and just I brought my pet to the restaurant with me, because he just kept saying no dogs, no dogs. I would say, yeah, there's, I don't know if benefit of the doubt is the right term, but I mean, if someone comes and explains to this guy what the rule is, and obviously he struggles with English, maybe he just doesn't understand that. And, I mean, if he does it again, then I could see a lawsuit.
The woman says that the manager since contacted a disability rights attorney.
Mm-hmm. Here comes the suit.
Yeah. Who contacted the restaurant's management. They apparently offered the woman a $200 gift card, but the woman said, "I don't care about a gift card. It's about principle." So one would say, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, she's got to have some understanding.
What is your goal? Is your goal to change the behavior, or is your goal to punish? That's going to have to be the question here. Cha-ching.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that. $200 worth of food.
Just so you know, cha-ching is bilingual. That is, everyone understands cha-ching.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You're right, Andrew. I mean, it's $200 worth of food.
Yeah.
I think I mean that's good sushi right there. I think I'd be all over that. Yeah. Okay.
Get you about a plate.
What else do I have that I think is and the comment, of course, we'll do again of Bill Clinton. I'll get that. He has created a new TV commercial for the Republicans that will be used. It's really something. We'll play that audio again for you. And yesterday, the 5 candidates were on CNN. The final 5 presidential candidates on CNN last night to talk separately with Wolf Blitzer and Anderson Cooper about various issues. Wolf asked Ted Cruz whether or not he'd consider being Trump's vice presidential running mate. What do you think he said?
Hell no.
Here's the audio.
I have zero interest whatsoever in
that. That translates into Cruzism as hell no, I believe.
And listen, if Donald Trump is the nominee, it's a disaster. Hillary wins. Donald may be the only candidate on the face of the planet that Hillary Clinton can beat in a general election, and the stakes are too high.
They also asked Donald Trump last night, Wolf Blitzer asked him why he thinks so many white supremacists are backing him, and this was his answer.
I don't know, because I am the least racist person that you'll ever meet. So I don't know. And I don't know that they really are. I mean, you're telling me that, so I don't know that
the ADL put out a whole list of 10 white supremacists, neo-Nazis, they called them, anti-Semites, who are out there working, supporting your campaign.
I just don't know. I mean, you're telling me this, but I don't know why. I am certainly the least racist person.
But you condemn them.
Of course I condemn them.
I think part of it is when you say things like, we're going to put a ban on all people of this religion. That tweaks the interest of, and I do wonder, does Trump do this stuff innocently, where he doesn't realize what he says? He doesn't realize the
He doesn't realize the enormity of the impact of what he says. He doesn't realize the ramifications.
And he's trying to appeal to all Americans, and in some cases, no matter what the intent or how you intended to do it, You're going to draw those
is,
people.
Is Trump trying to appeal to all Americans?
Yes, I was just going to say, I don't think he is.
Or is Trump just being, this is Donald Trump?
Mm-hmm, I think
This
so.
is, and he can't, well, of course we're going to ban all Muslims. They're the ones causing the trouble right now. I really wonder, is this big mastermind, this big strategic, or is this remember, this is the guy that comes out and doesn't write any speeches. There's no teleprompter there. This is off the cuff, every single speech. Yeah. And he'll lean up as if and kind of pause and be, this is just, he comes out with these speeches, and it's just Donald Trump off the top of his head. That should be the name of the campaign and the name of the tour. Donald Trump off the top of his head, and he just runs with it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure that it's any big strategic. People are saying he's a mastermind, a master marketer. I think his brand has kind of fallen. I think has kind of fallen in at the perfect time. And I'm not sure that there's any huge science or political mastermind behind the whole thing.
No, I agree. I think there is a lot of strategy into it, like when he sat out the debate and some of the other things that he does. But no, I don't think that he's doing this on purpose, despite the fact that he's obviously a very intelligent businessman.
Most political strategists probably would have told him, don't say that thing about the Muslims.
Right.
But
then they're sitting there watching, and he says it, and his numbers go up.
I think
and they're
when
like,
he
you've got to be
strategizes,
kidding me here.
He makes a mistake. When he decides to sit, he decides to sit out the debate, then he regrets that decision.
Yeah.
So that's not working for him. So he shoots from the hip, he shoots from the top of his head, and that's working for him.
And which mistake was really cost him?
Sitting out the debate.
You think it really cost him?
Yeah,
I
I'll
do.
stand by that.
You think?
If you remember, I was on that boat.
Yeah.
He polled like double digits ahead.
He did
and
take a
then
little
lost.
dip. There was a little bit of a dip in there.
I forget, where was it? Michigan? Was it Michigan?
And can we pinpoint the point where Marco Rubio fell off the cliff?
Yeah,
It was the moment he went after Trump. That was the moment when he started with the hands and the
well, I think it was
spray
the Chris
tan
Christie.
and the whole, and then the Chris Christie thing. All of that happened at once. So, man, this has been really quite an amazing. If you're a fan of politics and a political science fan and a fan of the history of politics in the United States, or really, to be honest, anywhere in the world, this one is one to be watching and taking note of. It's really incredible.
Finished House of Cards yet?
No, but I have 2 episodes left. So
stop working. All right,
it's
worth it.
You have to. It's
worth it.
I was unable to sleep last night. I would have done it, but it would have violated the trust I had with my wife. She was sleeping. I was up till like 3 a.m. Here's Christine with an update.